paper. At the NCF where I work, about 6 years ago, one of our staff said, well, Oga, he said that we do paperless or we go and use recycled paper. And we started looking for organizations in the country that are that we can get as much as possible of recycled papers to be used. But we have not been able to do that. So it's a challenge to the youth too, because people wanted to do things in positive ways. People wanted to do things in sustainable ways. They are there. They can only be encouraged when there is technology and innovation that supports such. Our policy are already going positive, like Mr. Fodeke, Dr. Fodeke said, that the Environment Ministry, the Federal Ministry of Environment, are trying to find ways of bringing innovative ideologies into the policies to ensure that people are doing things that are following best practices in sustainable development. That is the only way we can go. That is the only way we can go, because in our country, we are not alone. We are living within the world. We are connected to China, connected to Belgium. We have to trade with all these countries. And consumers globally are beginning to ask questions. If you are not producing something sustainably, if it doesn't come from a farm where they are recycling their nutrients, if it is about chemicals, I will not buy them. So, and we have to be smarter, we have to be serious, we have to have the future in our hand, and ensuring that we have the resource here to turn around to ensure that we don't bring bad chemicals or invasive species.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you. Now, Dr. Majo Kodumi, we still have the problem of our wetland and the issue of conservation. What can we do? Are we still helpless? They are fast vanishing all over the nation.
The wetland is exceedingly valuable, especially the Nigerian wetland. Like everything else, the wetland shows how blessed this nation is. The nation Nigeria is mightily blessed. Why am I saying that in relation to the wetland? Because our wetland has some of the richest biodiversity of aqua, flora and fauna in the world. Our wetland is rich. That's where the fish breed. The wetland also sequesters a lot of the carbon dioxide. So we need to protect it. And the good news is that the indications that we're seeing from this change is bringing about a lot of hope. We have seen a particular minister has been going all around the country, crisscrossing from the desert to the wetland, from the wetland to the gully, back to the wetland again, which they say is soon going to be cleaned up from the massive pollution that had been allowed to stay there decade after decade. So we're very, very encouraged. But in a nutshell, and I know we don't have much time, all we need to do is protect our wetlands. And then the young people, the power is actually in your hands, and I will show you the tool. There is a weapon of warfare that we're using now. It's a very, very powerful weapon. It is far more powerful than this puny AK-47 and all that. This is the weapon of warfare. Oh yes, you can communicate. You can get your thoughts and your ideas across to the leadership. Do it in a very polite way. We're Africans and we respect our elders. But get your messages across. I know the Ministry of Environment has websites. I know the Ogun State government has all sorts of media platforms. I mean, young people like myself, we're using Twitter and Facebook and...
Thank you very much. May I, on behalf of Our Excellency, the celebrant, appreciate all our discussants and especially our guest speaker. I'm sure by now we all once in one form or the other be familiar with the challenges that we are facing. Like the chairman rightly remarked, that all these things as a problem arose out of the abuse of the environment by all of us. Unfortunately, the situation we have found ourselves that we are all endangered now, particularly our youth. So something needs to be done quickly and fast. And that is why today like Dr. Fudeke said, we must recognize this effort of Her Excellency, the celebrant. It's not the first one. From the documentary we've all watched, it's been a journey. Today is just a mere sustenance of the conversation on climate change. So for us, we believe from all that has been said that we must immediately embark on mitigation and adaptation measures. There are so many things that could be done. And I'm glad the Honorable Minister is here, like a lot of people have said, extremely proactive. I've always had a challenge in the past about the question of retrofitting. I believe that by now most of the government buildings or structure must have been retrofitted with energy bulbs. But even our various homes, we've not done so because of the cost implication. This is an area that does not cost government any funding. All that is this is a policy decision to allow this energy bulb to come in so that people can start retrofitting and conserving energy, which is one of the greatest contributors to the problem of climate change. Beyond that also, we have learned about the various ways to wet, particularly our youth, how we can recycle our paper, recycle the nylon, all the used tires in our environment. We must start gathering them together. You can form pellet out of the nylon. You can convert all those ones to foot mat. There are so many opportunities. In fact, the conclusion globally today is that there is nothing like waste again. That word we seem to have disappeared, particularly when it comes to our consumption. There is nothing like waste. Every single item considered today as refuse is a useful material or is a product or raw material for another product. And it is in this sense of context that I want to urge all of us that we have one thing or the other to do by curtailing the impact of this climate change, even if it's mere walking. Because most of us, particularly most of us that are privileged, we can, if possible, drive into our various rooms. We can always avoid it. Apart from the healthy implication of it, we can reduce the greenhouse gases coming from this burning of refuse. Students, henceforth, you must start sorting your waste. That is the implication. For you to have any meaningful recycling, you must first and foremost have sorted out the waste. So henceforth, make sure you sort out the bottles from the paper, from the vegetable waste, so that at the end of the day it will be much easier for us to recycle them and in our collective interest protect the environment. On our last note, may I therefore employ all of us that the problem we have today is our total, like the chairman said, total disregard and disrespect for the environment. The environment is now retaliating. That is where we are. So we must henceforth start respecting the environment so that the environment can respect us. I thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir. Dr. Moise Banire, former Commissioner for Environment, Lagos State. Okay. Our chairman for the day would like to say something. Can I just implore and ask for your indulgence, please? Thank you, sir.
One of the speakers advocated improving the export of Nigerian charcoal as a way of providing jobs for the youth. I'm surprised nobody commented on it. This is no forum. This is absolutely no forum for promotion of the burning of wood. Wood is so precious that it ought not to be used. But if we use it for cooking, yes, our own food. But to burn our own wood, turn it into charcoal and export? What about gas? We produce gas here. The LNG gas produces electricity for foreign countries. Our own share of it, we also export it raw. This is no forum to promote cutting of wood to produce charcoal.